beware. Take care. Because the freaks come out at night. Enjoy Wrestlemania night 2. Amy Matt here, and this is WrestleMania Night 2 predictions. We did WrestleMania Night 1, so this is going to be a fun second half, I can tell by the card. I think it's going to be a good show. I mean, you have a lot of good matches here. There's one match in particular that I will be looking forward to, so yeah, let's not waste any time. WrestleMania, baby! Triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. We got Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus the champion, Gunther or Walter, whichever you will. And, it's, one of those things where I said many times, I'm so fucking glad that the Intercontinental title has now had some recognition. And I mean, when Walter won the title, I didn't know how this was going to go. Now, there's a rumor where he was a big man, and yes, he got that, I call him the polar bear, because he had that physique. But, apparently he was told to lose some weight, and, he got rewarded with the title. So that's cool, and I mean, he made that belt relevant. I can't remember how many days it was now that he has had that title, but it's very cool to see that the belt that I grew up really loving has now had some relevancy. So there's that. The whole thing with Sheamus and Drew, now they've been fighting with each other, against each other, so it just seems like I don't know where this is going to go. Yeah, it's one of those things where you have Drew, the Scotsman, who basically, I thought he was somewhat a part of the Brawling Brutes, which kind of made sense for a while, and now they want to have a match against each other, and then, while they take on Walter. So, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Honestly, if Walter doesn't retain, which I'm pretty sure he might, but let's say he doesn't retain, then I really want to see Sheamus go over. I mean, this guy has had the United States title, the WWE title, the World Heavyweight title, Tag Team titles, and I think now it's time for Sheamus to become a Grand Slam champion. The first Irish-born Grand Slam champion. Look, having Drew as the Intercontinental champion for the second time would be pretty cool. And if he does win, might as well reopen the whole thing with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre for the 17th billion time. But this is going to be a good match, and like I said, it's cool to see the Intercontinental Championship spotlighted once again. And I mean, it won't be on the pre-show. But we'll see what happens. We've got 3 guys in the ring who will kind of sort of match up to Walter or Gunther, whatever you want to call him again. You know, it's sort of like they have the match with Walter and you don't drag it off. Again, like I said, the Timberwolf versus the Polar Bear. But in this case, you have all 3 guys who are almost the same height, if not. So, it's gonna be a hard-hitting match for sure. Oh, yes. So we have a Hell in a Cell match. We have Edge versus Finn Balor. Not just Finn Balor, but the Demon, Finn Balor. Yes, for the first time since probably Extreme Rules. We're going to see the Finn Balor that we haven't seen in a while. And joining the Judgment Day, I don't know how he's going to look. Now, there is a rumor that we have Christian and Gangrel. Yes, Christian. There's a rumor that he's coming in. Now, he's been off AEW TV since his match with Jungle Boy. So, it's going to be interesting to see this match. And if that happens, that's cool. Having Edge come out to the Brood theme, having the Brood Edge, would be pretty interesting. Now, are they going to put Gangrel and Christian after he gets locked inside the steel cage with Hell in a Cell? Then, because I can't see Damian Priest and Dominic in Finn's corner. I mean, Dominic's already going to be busy, so... But this is going to be a hell of a fight. And I've always loved Hell in a Cell matches. So... And yes, Edge has been in a lot of them. And... So, I mean, he knows what it feels like. Finn Balor, I believe, has only been in 1. So... I can't remember, but yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. And again, you know, you look at the fact that people have said this is a good long-running stories. It's great that they're having these long-running feuds because we all know that in the last couple of years you would have a feud with a tag team or 2 people and they would just abruptly end. So, I think that it'll be interesting. You know, I think that's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. But I do think it's time for Edge to get a win. You know, it's just, that's how it has to be. I mean, when this whole thing started with Judgment Day and he was the leader, I thought, okay, this is going to work. Edge has always been a good heel, just as much as he's been a good face. But then things changed and that didn't happen. So, and if this is Adam's last stand, and he does have that final match, which I'm thinking that SummerSlam's going to be in Toronto. You know, he never got the Universal title, which is a shame. And yes, you don't always have to have the belt when you come back. But, you know, he's had a good run. And he is a Grand Slam champion, so... As for a winner, I'm obviously going to say Edge. With the shit that the Judgment Day put him through, he definitely should get this win. And, you know, we'll see. Maybe the feud will end there. Because if Rhea Ripley wins the SmackDown Women's Championship, and hopefully she does, then I think it would be great to see the Judgment Day disband. I mean, I do and I don't want to see it, because it just seems like their momentum is going really well, and I like the fact that Dominic has gone into his own. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's gonna be a good match. So, and hell, it might even be match of the night, but we'll see. So you have the women's showcase for WrestleMania. You have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green versus and Sonya Deville. So it's a take team. I had thought they were going to have another take team, but I must have been watching the wrong show, because this is the card they have. And it looks like a good card, and I mean, look, some very good take teams here. And obviously, Liv and Raquel work well together. You know, Natalya and Shotzi, or the Blackhearts as they might be called in the future. And then you have Ronda and Shayna, who definitely have that MMA background, have that badass bitch quality. So it'll be interesting to see what that, but also you have the team of Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Now Chelsea Green and Carmella seem to work well, but you know, we'll see what happens with that. This should be a good match anyways. I honestly don't know what the showcase means, but it'll be interesting to... Oh, maybe it's for a title shot, who knows. But it's really up in the air. Like, I don't see Liv and Raquel win. I just don't. That's just, you know... I don't really see Chelsea and Sonya win either. So, I mean, yeah, you have Natalya and Shotzi or Ronda and Shayna. That's the main two, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I've been proven wrong before. It should still be a hell of a match. Championship. You got the Raw Women's Championship. You have Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And, I mean, it's kind of cool to see this, you know, in the last 3 years now. Like, the first year back with the crowd, you have Bianca go for the title. Actually, it was pretty much the same thing last year. I mean, WrestleMania 37, it was going for the Raw Women's Championship, and then, of course, or no, SmackDown, actually, sorry. Then last year was the Raw Women's Championship, and now she's coming in as the champion. So, yeah, and look, I think that Asuka Yeah, she's already been Raw Women's Champion. I think she deserves it too. And this new persona, or you call it the old Kana character, I feel is much better. When she's got the face paint and the Great Muta like ink coming from her mouth or whatever, and it was just like, it's cool to see that. It's cool to see Bianca get freaked out. Or anybody get freaked out by that. I missed. But I would like to see Asuka go over. And I know that Bianca's been a great champion. And it's just, you know what, who knows? Because if Rhea doesn't beat Charlotte and she better, then who knows if Asuka's gonna win. I don't know if they're gonna have two women's championships change hands from night 1 to night 2. But it's gonna be a wait and see, because like I said, I love to see Asuka go over, but you never really know. But we have King Kong versus Godzilla. We've got Omos with MVP versus Brock Lesnar. And I gotta say, like I probably said this last year too, but I'm very impressed with Lesnar's attitude. Like, we all know that in 2002 he came in, he was the badass motherfucker that everyone liked to see, and he just wrecked people. That's all he did. And then it seemed like 2012 he came back. That was an okay run as well. I think winning the WWE title and the world title at the same time. Although that was a thing back then, which I hated, but still. And then of course, you know, you beat the Undertaker streak, you do all that stuff. And then 2017, 2018 didn't seem like he cared. You know, just didn't really think he wanted to be there, but, you know, this guy now coming in, he's got the plaid shirt, the cowboy hat, the beard, the whatever you call that ponytail hairstyle. You know, that's going to be interesting to see what he could do. And I mean, Omos has been a wrecking machine. I mean, the guy is like 7'2", or well, more than that actually. And he's been a wrecking machine. And he has been dominant. And it's like, I don't know if you want to put a title on this guy. I don't think he needs it. And you see these two in the ring, and yes, they had touched twice. So it's almost like, okay, you know how I feel about that, but I mean, once these two get into the ring, it'll be interesting to see what they do and who's going to come out on top. Because last year, I think it was Bobby Lashley that went out on top. And that was an okay match. Wasn't the greatest, but, you know, Omos is just a different character, a different animal than Bobby, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And by the way, it was Bobby and Omos. Yeah. Yeah, it's a wait and see. Championship. You have Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Cody Rhodes. And you know, I think back to when Brock Lesnar debuted, he got Paul Heyman in the side. Brock becomes the champion at SummerSlam. And it was 2002 Survivor Series. It's Paul Heyman that basically turned on Brock Lesnar, sided with Big Show. Big Show became the undisputed WWE champion. And then it was like betrayal with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman when it was the match with Roman Reigns. Can't remember what pay-per-view it was. So it was like, or no, actually, Roman Reigns had Paul by his side when he came back. So it just seems like I saw this one image that somebody edited, and you got Cody Rhodes with both titles, and got Paul Heyman kneeling beside Cody, and it's almost like I don't see that happening either. I mean, here's the thing. Cody Rhodes coming back. He has had a great career in AEW. Yay, EVP, which is fine. Whatever. A lot of people talked about that negatively, I think. In my opinion. You have Cody Rhodes, who came back last year at Wrestlemania to face Cody Rhodes. And basically, here's a guy who was the American Nightmare. He had the gimmick, he had the music, and I was like, holy shit, they actually did it. They allowed that, because nobody knew what Cody Rhodes was going to come out to. You have the match where he had his torn pectoral muscle, Seth Rollins again. That was gnarly, and that gave him a lot of respect from the fans. So, there's that. I would like to see Cody Rhodes go over. Again, pull the trigger. Because how long do you want to wait until you get the belt off of Roman? He's already been champion now for 3 years. Nowadays, that's really unheard of. Like CM Punk was only a champion for 1.5 years. I mean, and here's the thing too. They're gonna have one title, which I'm all for, obviously. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Cody. I want to see where this goes. It's high time they change things up a bit. He deserves it. He obviously does. You don't want your Royal Rumble winner to lose. And I find that a lot lately. I mean, yeah, I do. And it's kind of pathetic, because the point to winning the Royal Rumble is you're going to go get the title at WrestleMania. And the Undertaker streak was second. And that doesn't exist no more. Fuck. It's 9 years ago that the streak ended. So, if Cody doesn't win, then who the fuck is next? But, I don't know. It's a wait and see. But I hope that I'm right. And I hope that everybody else that picked Cody is right. But anyways, well, there's your WrestleMania predictions. And yeah, this is going to be a fun show. Again, Stand and Deliver is tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, WrestleMania predictions in the book this year. You know, things have been stressful within the last week. So, but it's all good. But anyhow, I mean Matt. Talk to you later. Bye.
Anymore. So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller is
Gnarly.
that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews,